This video today is all about Baxter Pit. The Coal Authority have it at 225 feet deep to the main band. Isaac Fletcher, who wrote a history of West Cumbria coal mining in the late 1800s, had it down as 61 fathoms, which is slightly more. Though I suppose if you fell down the shaft, the extra difference wouldn't make any matter to you. Anyway, the reason we're here today is I'm standing in a landscape that's rapidly disappearing. The encroachment of the housing estate at Edgehill covered an area where there were 3 shafts already: Moss Pit, County Pit and Country Pit. I knew about them. Moss Pit was one of Carlisle Spedding's ventilation pits. It had a 20 to 30 foot sandstone tower on it for ventilation. Didn't believe in sealing workings off, so he left various pit shafts open and put towers on them to ventilate them. Country Pit and County Pit were dealt with by the Close Collieries team, as was Moss Pit, but Country Pit, I knew where it was because we could see the spoil heap next to it. County Pit, I had a general idea where it was, but during the shaft infill by the Close Colliery team, I found out where it was. I've looked on the Coal Authority site, and initially when I started looking, before these houses were built, the Coal Authority had only the 3 shafts listed there. I've since noticed that it's now grown to 7, so I am assuming that the building of these houses has uncovered more shafts. Anyway, enough about that. That's for a later video. The one today is covering Baxter Pit, as I say. Baxter Pit, 250 or 225 feet deep, whichever one you choose, to the main band. Sits here on the edge of what used to be the prefab estate at Woodhouse, opposite the Lion. Comes up round now when stories are built bungalows up to the top end of the close it's on. It's just outside the boundary fence where there used to be a chicken coop or a fella who kept ducks or something like that. And I would say it was accessed because there was always a gap in the fence there. There's no sign of the shaft at the moment, and I thought when they filled the gap in, they started to keep cattle in this field, and somebody come along with a bulldozer and bulldoze a little bit of earth up into the gap that was where this chicken coop was. I thought they might have scraped the shaft or even uncovered it, but they haven't, or there's no sign of them uncovering it. It's still here. It's in this area. If you look around, you can see where the houses are, and all this area is due to be covered in by housing. There's about another dozen shafts up here, well, 10 anyway. Which they'll find as they go along. I know where some of them are. There's Gamerig's Pit, Fox Pit, Watson Pit, and a few more, but there's some that I'm actively looking for. The thing that makes this pit unique is that when I was up here originally, I looked around the area to see what it was. It stands on the top of Greenbank Colliery, and underneath it the thicket level runs in from the thicket down in the bottom of the valley and runs up to the fence at Marshon. Well, it runs to Gamerig's shaft actually, and it's directly underneath here, and there's a spur went off to Country Pit, and the whole area was drained when they connected the Gins level, the Bannock Band surface water level, through the faulted Greenbank with thicket level, and through the Greenbank fault up on Woodhouse when they came through from Fish Pit to Fox Pit, and then on to Wilson Pit where it terminated. The whole system was eventually connected to a system that went through from Croft Pit to Kells Pit, then to Sorton Pit, then to bypass Daig Pit, our shaft pump lodge, connected into the old tunnel, but the original destination was Wellington Pit, where the water was pumped to the surface. The main pump at one point was at Sorton Pit, and it was kept on as a pumping station. In fact, it was that an important station that the Wingill colliery shafts on the other side of the valley all were joined up through one drift that came under the valley and joined the system together, all except George Pit, North Pit and Lady Pit, which is a separate case. The reason I'm doing this one is, if you look down the field, you can see what looks like an old field boundary. It's raised up about 2 feet, if that, and it runs in a straight line down the valley towards the bare mouth that's seldom seen, or to the main road actually, to St. Bees. I thought it was a field boundary at first until I examined it, and a hole's been cut across it to let some water through, and it actually consists of pit dirt or spoil, and it goes all the way over what would eventually be boggy terrain, and forms part of a packhorse path down to the main road. In later videos I'll have a look. For about 100 yards down there's a spur off to the right from here towards what was Watson Pit. I haven't found that shaft, but I will have a look and see where it goes.